The reason I went with this over a different precision rifle was honestly the cost of it. The entry level cost of this gun.
Kobe here. We got a lot in this video today. First, we made our guess. He introduces his gun. I go down a rabbit hole with regards to the barrel. We do a quick Patreon plug, and then we do the second half of the interview with our guest. We do a quick trigger pull test, which is kind of silly because he has an adjustable trigger. And then we hit the range to shoot his gun. I've attached timestamps in the description so you can jump to any section. Without further ado, let's dive in. Hello, welcome to Rugged Tactical, where every trigger pull tells a story and responsible gun ownership is a way of life. We're here to help you navigate the world of firearms. Whether you're a seasoned enthusiast or a curious newcomer, you might just learn something new. So today we have a very special guest. Chris, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm Chris. I have been shooting for relatively new. I mean, within the last 5 to 8 years, so
Okay.
relatively new.
Very good. So Chris and I, we provide service in our local church community, and we get to brush shoulders a little bit with what we do, and it's a lot of fun. So what got you into shooting?
I'd always been interested in it in general. Had friends that did target shooting, hunting, etc., and just always been interested, but just never really jumped into it. So I don't know, the right time in life, I guess, mixing.
Yeah.
And so began researching a little bit into guns and gun ownership and what it entailed, so I could be smart and educated and understand the different aspects, because it's a huge world.
It is a huge world, yeah. So what were some of the things that when you first started getting involved, you did a lot of research and stuff like that. Did you reach out to anybody? Did anybody help you along, or was it all strictly textbook? How did you kind of truly start to get into it?
Yeah, so did a lot of research online to address some of the biggest concerns my wife had at the time, because she was not familiar with guns either.
Yeah.
So safety. We had young children at home, so trying to figure out how we were going to manage that and be safe. And then understanding what types of guns, what type of shooting experience, and then budget, of course. Finding something within the budget
within
at
your
the time.
budget. For our viewers at home, this gun has been cleared, right?
Yes.
There's no ammunition in it. We got the action open so that you can see. Do you have any friends that are into shooting guns or shooting sports?
I do, actually. After I purchased my first gun, my dad got more interested, and he went out and purchased his gun.
Okay.
And it was an awesome thing to go target shooting. We do primarily target shooting.
Yeah.
To be able to do that on the weekends together, spend some time at the range, we found that to be a lot of fun. And then my friend, he had never owned his own gun. He had done hunting with his dad.
Yeah.
But at that time, then he purchased a gun, and so we've gone to the range numerous times. So
nice. Okay, so obviously we have a gun here sitting before us today. So what did you bring here today, Chris?
I brought the Ruger Precision Rimfire. It's a 22 long rifle made by Ruger.
Okay, so what does it mean to be precision? There's a distinction between this and a normal regular 22 rifle that you would purchase, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things. First, the barrel is a heavy barrel, so it's a thicker walled barrel, so
Okay.
it has less movement in it. It's free floating, which means it's attached right here, but there's no other attachments inside here, so it allows the barrel to move on its natural harmonics. And then, of course, you have a trigger. It's adjustable, I believe 2 pounds to 7 pounds, but I could be off on that. I think I always keep it at the lighter side. Personally, I like it there.
Okay.
And then be able to the cheek rest and length of pull with the shoulder rest, being able to adjust that to fit yourself perfect. So.
Okay, so an adjustable stock.
Yep.
So that it really kind of fits towards your body, right?
Yep, and you're resting your cheek in the same spot, so you're just it's repeating the same mechanics over and over and fine tuning it as you're trying to get that precision, because downrange, small movements here have big impact downrange. So
okay. So I want to pause the video for just a moment and reiterate what Chris indicated with regards to being a precision rifle. So in my mind, there are two things that come into play that are making it a precision rifle. The first is user related, which coincides with its customizability, right? The fact that you could set the trigger pull weight, adjust the stock so that it fits to you, add accessories like the bipod without affecting the harmonics of the barrel. All these things come together so that when you fire that round, you as a user are on target. So I checked out Ruger's website and found out a couple other things, which includes an oversized bolt handle, Ruger's AR pattern pistol grip, and there are other things that come into play. If you want to learn more, you can check out their website. The second thing is the actual gun specifications. So for example, what material the barrel is made out of. On their website, it totes an extra precise rifling. Riflings are the grooves in the barrel that give the bullet the twist. So all these stack up to being a precision rifle, which I think is really cool. Now, perhaps I'm going to open Pandora's box here, and I believe there's going to be a lot of differing opinions. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do so, but keep it kind and professional. Here at Rugged Tactical, we encourage an environment of learning. Science may tell us one thing until it doesn't, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of research that goes into this, and most scenarios might follow specific rules until you find the right environment where it doesn't. Now, Chris mentioned the gun having a heavy barrel. So it is a thicker walled barrel. He indicated that as a result, it has less movement. So I wanted to educate myself a bit. I looked online to see how having a heavy barrel can increase accuracy. Wow. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. I truly found myself going down a rabbit hole. The first quote that popped up stated that having a thicker barrel has zero effect on accuracy, which I can understand where it's coming from because it's the riflings, right, that gives the twist to the bullet and stuff. But there's more things at play than just the riflings. Then I also read something that indicated the opposite, that having a thicker barrel will vibrate less, which can increase accuracy. I also read that a heavy barrel resists heating up quickly. In another part, I read that having heavy barrel decreases recoil. But then I also read that it does nothing to reduce recoil, but that it just adds weight and stability to the rifle, and thereby absorbing some of the recoil and diminishes the upward kick. So who to believe? Well, I'll tell you my thoughts and opinions in just a bit, but first, I'd like to tell you a story. So as a kid, much younger, probably centuries ago, no, not too long ago, we used to go to muzzleloader shoots with my dad and my grandpa. And my grandpa would go and compete in pistol competitions. And I remember him telling me once that he had a gun that as it would get hot, it would actually start to creep high and to the left. Now, having shot in these muzzleloader shoots, I know that with time, user error definitely, I would get fatigued, right? And my shots would just get bad in general. He truly believed that there was something to having a hotter barrel. As the barrel would get hot, it would decrease in accuracy. I think there's definitely something to that. My grandpa was a shooting instructor. He had shot in many, many competitions. Again, is it user error? Meaning the longer you shoot, do you just fatigue more and then the accuracy goes down, which I'm sure happens? Or does a heated up barrel also affect accuracy? With my own experience and based on my grandpa's story, I believe that there's definitely something to it, that a heated barrel can reduce accuracy. If you had the gun in a vise and you shot it over and over again, does the accuracy decrease? If there's studies out there, let me know. But in my opinion, I think that, as you get a hotter barrel, it can affect the accuracy. Now, one of the things that I read online, that a thicker barrel will actually displace the heat, meaning it doesn't heat up as quickly. And if that's the case, then in my mind, logic would make sense to me that a thicker barrel over time, repeated shooting would be more accurate. Again, I'm sure there's studies out there, but to me, it sounds good. Later on, obviously, we go and shoot this gun. And when we shot the gun, we'd set it down on the bipod and it was set. I didn't have to hold it up. I could really focus on my shot and wasn't having to worry about shaking it or anything like that. And when we got done shooting and filming, and so I don't actually have footage of this, but when we got done shooting, I just held the gun up and tried to freehand it. And I'm telling you, this gun is heavy. It truly is a heavy barrel. And so it was extremely hard to hold up. So this gun is designed to be on a bipod, sandbags, whatever it is, but it is meant to be locked in and truly honing in on a precise shot. So in my mind, if you have it on a bipod, and if there's like wind or other factors that could potentially move the gun, having a heavier gun is going to help keep it more stable and steady. So again, now that is a user type, not only user, but also the environmental factor, where having a heavier barrel helps increase in your accuracy as a shooter. All right, so there you have it. That's my 2 cents with regards to having a heavier barrel. In my mind, sure, it could displace the heat, and as a user, help increase in stability. Beyond that, I'm sure science could tell you the rest of the story. Why did you lean towards getting a precision rifle versus just a regular 22?
So one of my favorite things about target shooting is, for me, taking the time for accuracy, precision, and fine-tuning those skills. And so the reason I went with this over a different precision rifle was honestly the cost of it. The entry-level cost of this gun, around $400 at the time, was very achievable versus, you know, a $1,500, $2,500 gun. Plus then you got to buy the scopes and all the additional items that go along with it. So I wanted to kind of test the waters out. And from what I had read, the same mechanics that you would apply and same discipline that you would apply to a higher caliber or a larger caliber, would apply to this. So I thought, well, let me try it out, and you know, not sink in a ton of money and see if I like it. But you know, going to the range with a pistol, I'll shoot 150, 200, 300 rounds in a day, and you're shooting quite a bit, but it can go by pretty quick. With this, you're taking a little bit more time. It's more, you know, you're not rushing each shot, and it's just, I don't know, I find it relaxing and enjoyable. There's precision rifles that are much more expensive than this, but I like looking for the bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And this, for an entry level, bang for your buck is excellent. I mean, you've got the Ruger 1022s with Volquartsen parts that are very precise, but you're paying for that that name, the quality, etc. So this one was a pre-built, ready built. I didn't have to tinker with it and try to understand that part along with precision shooting, you know.
Yeah.
And so yes, going up with a higher caliber, a 6.5 Creedmoor, a 308, or a myriad of other long-range ammo, this is just a lot cheaper.
But yeah, so those other ones are definitely a lot more expensive to shoot.
Yes, but
right, and
you can achieve further distances. I mean, those ones you can shoot 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
where you can, you're not going to get.
So you're a little bit limited as far as the range with the 22.
Yeah.
But at the same time, something that you had indicated, the mechanics are the same.
Yep.
Right? Meaning you can get something like this. You can start at a much more affordable price, and then truly get the practice under your belt, so that you're squeezing the trigger, you're taking your breath, you're taking your time, you're watching the bullet hit the target and stuff like that, and then you're getting the muscle memory, and so that if you had an interest further down the road, you could perhaps get into the other calibers that you're shooting farther distances.
Exactly.
Right.
So this one here, there's actually a clip you can remove. A 22, the round itself would be a short pullback because it's a little round. But you can remove the ring, and you can have actually the full length of pull that you would on a larger ammunition. So you're even getting that the mechanics of lifting and pulling
the muscle memory
memory back.
So you're saying that with this you can actually get the feel for what it would be like to shell a larger caliber, shell, to get that muscle memory. I didn't quite understand, is that the actual mechanism, like, or the bolt essentially?
Yeah, so right here on the bolt, there's a clip missing. You can see a black clip here.
Okay.
There's a clip missing here. With that clip, it restricts the movement to go only back that far.
Okay, I see.
With this, it will do the full
length. Okay.
The full length pull. Shorter.
Without that clip, where that clip is missing, then you can get a full range, and it still stops, right?
Yep.
At this farther clip, right?
Yep.
So it'll still stop, but then you're getting the feel of what it would be like for a different caliber.
Yep.
This sounds like an extremely fun gun. A gun that you can hone in, practice the muscle memory for fine-tuned shooting, right? Where you're taking your time, you're taking your breath, you're squeezing the trigger, and truly having precision shots, right? I'd like to take a moment to share with you about our Patreon page. Our mission at Rugged Tactical is to take you on a journey, exploring the reasons why people own guns, and how firearm ownership can have a positive impact in their lives. Support on Patreon helps us to achieve our mission. In return, patrons enjoy exclusive perks and benefits, such as early access to our videos and bonus content. Be sure to check us out at patreon.com/Rugged Tactical. Have you participated in any shooting events or any competition type things?
I haven't. I've looked. There's a few local ones for 22s at shorter distances, but you have targets that get increasingly smaller and smaller, and they're spinner targets. They're on a spinner, and so you have a competition. It's always intrigued me. Been a little intimidated to, trying to fine tune my skills. So
yeah,
but I do like to try to compete. So I definitely have that in the future as a goal.
Can you tell me a little bit about the scope that you've got on there?
Yeah, so this is a Vortex Diamondback. I believe it is 6-24 magnification by 50 millimeter optic. Mid-range optic. Again, you can get a lot better optics for precision that have a lot more clarity downrange, especially on bright days or if you're outside, color aberration or you can get a lot more. But I found that this one is a great optic for the range I'm shooting at, for the distances. I got that along with the Vortex rings, be able to hold it. And then on here too, so one thing that's interesting, this is a recent one, and is a level on there. If you hold the gun off level, as you make adjustments, it makes different impacts. So you want your gun level. Again, relatively new for me in understanding this process, but in research, I found to help increase precision, you want to have your gun stabilized level.
So if I'm sitting down, if I'm like at a bench or something, or if I'm laying down or whatever, and if I canter my gun, that you're saying that has a potential to affect your shot. Whereas if I hold the gun level, then as far as precision shooting, it's more beneficial.
Yeah.
I mean, is that the kind of the idea?
And as you make adjustments up and down, if your reticle's twisted, you're not really going vertical, you're going more to diagonal. Because if this is twisted like this, and this is up, that's what the scope thinks is up.
Oh, okay.
Every make time an adjustment up, you're going a diagonal versus being
if you're having
straight on,
gun straight up and
this, and then you got your left and right. So again, it can change the point of impact. And that's what I love about this type of environment is the learning of small movements that you may not realize have an effect. But having that understanding helps you fine tune and make adjustments and be aware of the different movements. And then, downrange, the whole point is to get small groupings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you're getting your groupings off and you're just not understanding why, it might be some of just these small mechanics.
Yeah. When you first pick up a gun and you're sighting it in or whatever, getting familiar with it, if you have a small group, even though it's maybe up here and over, that's better than to have one here and there that's close to the bullseye. So if you have a small grouping, that means you're consistent.
Exactly. So even if your target's here, your bullseye's right here, and you have a tight grouping over here, that's okay, because then you can make the adjustments in your scope get over there and
to get you back where you need to be.
And also it depends on distance too, because there's the trajectory of the bullet, right? You can be accurate here and you can be accurate here.
So you might be high here, but once it gets out there, it might be right on.
Yeah.
And a little bit further, you might be a little bit lower.
So if you're zeroed at 100 yards, you might be off at 50 or, so you got to know what you've ranged it at or zeroed it at.
Can you describe your first experience shooting a gun?
Well, first experience of me going to purchase a gun and own a gun. I shot, like I said, when I was younger, BB guns and just different calibers like that. But going to the gun store, I had done some research, and at the time I was looking for a Ruger LC9S, which is a 9mm pistol. And I'd done some research and went to the shop to go see it in person, ask questions, and kind of verify what I had been researching.
Yeah.
And when I went there, man, the shop owner was fantastic. Took the time to explain to me some of the benefits or cons of different styles of guns, different ways of shooting, and trying to find something that matched what I was looking for. And he had an LC9S there, and they had a range at the store as well. And he gave me a few rounds to go try it. And, you know, the first time, you know, not knowing what to expect when holding it and shooting it, and the recoil was a little more than I expected, but then instantly I had a big smile on my face and finished shooting those rounds and was happy to make the purchase. So, and I haven't looked back. I mean, I own a number of different guns, and each one is a different experience. And that's one thing, talking about shooting with friends or family or, you know, someone else, a buddy. My dad purchased different guns than I purchased so that we could have different experiences. We could take all the guns and we can try them out. Yeah. So, and it's fantastic. Same thing with my buddy. He bought different sets of guns because each one is a unique experience. And you find some that you like more. Maybe you initially thought a smaller gun you were gonna like that more, or you like a full-size gun, or you like rifles.
I was talking to my dad the other day, and they were out shooting with some friends. His friend's wife got a hold of 44 mag, right? And we just did the video with Joel on his 44 mag.
Yeah.
And my dad, his thought was, this is too much gun for her. She is not gonna like that gun. And surprisingly, she loved it. She took to that gun more so than even a 22 for her, you know. There was just something about it, the feel of it and the experience, and it obviously wasn't too much for her because she fell in love with it. So you can be surprised by what different guns will do, right?
Yeah. A similar experience. So two of my boys, one's 15 and one's 13, and one's favorite is my 1911, which is a 45, you know, it's a heavier gun. That's his favorite to shoot. My other one, you know, I've had him try this one. I've had him try an AR, you know, 5.56, 300 Blackout, several different ones. And his favorite one is that Ruger LC9S 9mm pistol. And that he loves that one.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. Everybody picks up, and you never know what someone's going to like.
Yeah, never know what you're going to like. That's kind of one of the benefits to going into the stores, right? Being able to have somebody at the counter actually hand you the gun, feel the grip, see how it feels in your hand and stuff like that. And then, like you said, go ahead and shoot it.
Yeah.
Right? Actually get that experience. Now, these guns, the 22 caliber, in my opinion, is horribly underrated, right? A lot of times people say, oh, 22, whatever. But in my opinion, one of the best things about a 22 is you can just go out and shoot it.
Yep.
And you're having that experience.
Well, one thing I like talking about the ammo is specifically that the price to shoot this per round is, you know, your 5 cents roughly a round to be able to shoot versus, you know, $1.50, $2, $3, $5. I've got a friend that has a 300 PRC rifle, and to shoot that, it's $5 a shot.
$5 a shot. See, and so you're really conscientious about.
Yep.
You know, when you pull that trigger, and you don't get to pull the trigger probably all that much.
Well, he doesn't take it out. He took it to get it sighted at the beginning of the hunting season, and then it goes back. And so it's not one that he enjoys on a regular basis.
Now, this gun, is it specifically for hunting that you're talking about?
It is.
So that gun serves a specific function.
Absolutely.
Right? And so even though some guns just don't see the light of day very often, it doesn't minimize perhaps the functionality of it and his purpose for having it.
Yep.
Even though he would like to get out and probably shoot it more often.
Yeah.
When he does get it out, it's for a very specific purpose.
Well,
right?
and it's a very high quality gun. So I mean, it's top of the line. So I mean, he enjoys it when he does take it out and shoot it.
Yeah.
And enjoys that time. And like you said, it serves that purpose very well.
Yeah. And that's the beauty about 22s.
is you get to truly just get out and use them. Whenever I go out and shoot, in general, I'll carry my 22 pistol with me because I may shoot this gun 5 to 10 times and I'll go shoot my pistol all day long.
And another good thing about this is if you're introducing someone that's not familiar with guns or not comfortable around guns, that this one, I mean, it may look intimidating, but when you squeeze the trigger, the recoil is next to nothing.
Yeah.
The sound, it's not loud percussion. You don't have that wave that hits you or standing by it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I've introduced my boys to shooting with this specific gun right here, just so that they can focus on the joy of shooting and not the nervousness or anxiety that may come along with a louder gun or one that has more recoil or, you know, being worried about that.
It's going to hurt you or whatever.
And
it gives you a little strawberry or something.
Exactly. And so this is a good introduction, not to say I won't introduce those others because I have, but this was the first step for sure.
So I do see here on the trigger.
This one here has a blade in the middle that's a safety. So they have the safety switch that's on this side of the gun right there that you can switch. It's just located right there on the gun, but on this side. And then there's this blade that if that's not pulled, the trigger's not going anywhere. In precision, you know, pulling, I don't want a lot of resistance because I don't want my finger, the pull of the trigger, to affect my aim and twisting the gun or taking it off target. And so I like a much lighter trigger.
So I know on, like, for example, my pistol has one on the back that you actually have to squeeze to engage it. So they're just various different forms of safety features.
A big thing, too, in the world of precision is bipods.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To be able to have it rest out front. And there are a number of different types of bipods out there and how they attach, of course, price on them. These ones, there's a swivel.
To connect a strap.
And you can connect them onto it. And that's initially what the first one I bought. Just went on Amazon, found.
Okay, I see. So kind of like a monopod or a bipod that connects to your strap holder.
It has a special adapter that just hooks onto that knob. But what I found is it had a lot of movement in it. I couldn't secure it down very tight, and you don't want a lot of movement in it. So then I went to this one that connected into these slots, which are known as M-lock.
Okay.
Which I found to be a lot more secure, along with the legs not flexing as you go up in precision and quality. There's different rail systems, like an ARCA rail system that is a wider rail on the bottom that it can, the bipod can attach to, and it's very secure. Because I've been enjoying this so much, I've been looking at the higher calibers, like a 6.5 Creedmoor precision rifle, to try to get practice in the longer distances now that I found that I like it. And so I'm just in the beginning processes of understanding bipods and just that aspect of precision, let alone the rest of the gun.
You know, the sky's the limit, I'm sure, when it comes to potentially accessories and the opportunities to customize to liking, right? To suit your needs,
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you faced any challenges or fears in the process of learning about firearms or becoming comfortable with firearms?
For me personally, research and just learning about it and understanding. The more I understand something, the less I necessarily fear it. You still have respect, but more was from my wife, and wasn't familiar with them, wasn't comfortable with them, and so trying to help her understand and see, taking her to the range and letting her shoot. We did that, and she did fantastic. Still doesn't enjoy shooting, but
it may not be her bag, right? But at least she understands a little bit more, perhaps.
Exactly. I think that understanding is key, because the more you understand, the less you fear about the unknown.
Yeah, there's a quote.
And you always fear what you don't understand.
Something to the effect that you fear that which you do not know,
Yep.
right? So I like to watch a bunch of reptile shows. Yeah. And there's a lot of reptile owners out there that own venomous snakes and stuff. And to me, I just didn't understand it. Well, to a certain extent, I still don't understand it, why you would want to do that. But they grew up with it. And now, because I watch these shows, I have more of an education. I understand how they handle them. I understand the respect that they have for the animal. There's definitely a benefit to education, becoming involved and knowledgeable about a specific subject, especially one that you might fear.
Yep.
Right? And then it gives you an understanding and perhaps a little bit more tolerance for other people's hobbies, other people's interests, and a respect for that hobby or interest. With the reptiles and snakes, they give an extreme amount of respect towards a venomous snake, and they handle it accordingly. So guns, I view not much different.
Yep.
Right? There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of unknown, and people just say, oh my gosh, a gun. You know,
based off how it looks.
Based on how it looks or whatever. But if you get to know it, if you educate yourself, and you have what we promote here at Rugged Tactical, responsible gun ownership and gun handling, then you can have respect for the firearm and then truly understand its mechanisms, how it works, things that you can do to mitigate accidents and stuff like that, and then truly enjoy something that's a hobby and truly enjoy it, right?
Yeah. So along those lines too, one of the things I've enjoyed is teaching my boys. I only have boys, so it's nothing. Not if I had daughters, I'd teach them too. But teaching them about gun safety, the rules, how to handle a gun, what to do if they're at a friend's house and there's a gun out, what not to do, you know. And it's been rewarding to see them around my guns, that as they're handling them, they see that responsibility, because it is as a gun owner, you have an extra set of responsibilities. Can be a deadly item.
Absolutely, yeah.
But with that respect, you create a safe environment that then can be enjoyed. You know, taking my boys out shooting and helping coach them and help them enjoy the sport and see the smiles on their faces is very rewarding. So
it is, absolutely, 100%. Recapping a little bit with regards to the beginning of our interview, where we participate in church community activities and stuff, where as volunteers, we get the opportunity to brush shoulders with young men. I get to brush shoulders currently with the older young men, you know, and there's truly great opportunities for learning and growth in all aspects of life, right?
Yep, and along that too, you know, some of my boys, they don't enjoy shooting, but they at least understand it, and they're not fearful of it.
Yeah. So Chris, sometimes the gun world, in my opinion, can be somewhat intimidating. For a person who doesn't have a whole lot of experience with guns, but would like to learn more, would like to actually go shoot it, maybe they've never shot a gun before, what do you recommend for somebody that is perhaps in that situation, that would like to learn a little bit more, or is a little bit intimidated with the hobby? Yeah,
so the first thing is just go to the gun shop. I haven't been to one that the people haven't been helpful, even though I was completely ignorant on some of the terms or what to do or, you know, some of that stuff. They took the time to educate me. They took the time to show me different guns and let me handle them and answer my questions. And so I would recommend just finding a local gun shop and going out there and just ask the questions.
Just ask the questions, yeah.
And don't let it intimidate you. They can help break it down. I mean, there's a lot of nuance to it.
So, I mean, there's so much, right? So much to learn, so much to grow, and everybody's at different levels of experience. I get the pleasure of being able to meet with gun owners where they have their gun, and they have their gun for a reason. You picked out this gun, you did your research, you know why you like this gun. I've never touched this type of gun before, meaning a precision 22 long rifle. And so to be able to sit here and actually ask the questions, right? So you would do the same thing when you go to a gun shop, and you can ask those questions. And again, whether you're a newcomer or a seasoned enthusiast or whatever, there's always things to learn. Right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's a great recommendation. Just go talk to the sales reps there. There should be somebody that is willing to help you. And if for some reason in that particular shop they're just not helpful, there should be other shops near you.
Yeah, and just going in and, I mean, just saying, hey, I know nothing about these. I don't know anything about guns. I don't know the right terms. And just letting them know so that then they're using the right the right terminology or helping explain stuff better. So don't be afraid to tell them your level of knowledge either.
Yeah. If you were to rate yourself between 1 and 10 with regards to your knowledge and experience of guns, gun handling, and overall gun ownership, where would you put yourself? 1 being new, 10 being I've been doing this for years, I'm a seasoned expert.
I would put myself probably at a 4, maybe early 5.
Okay.
In comfortable, starting to understand the terms, some of the nuances.
See, and that kind of surprises me a little bit because with regards to our conversation today, to me, you seemed very knowledgeable, right? You've done a lot of research. And so in my mind, I naturally wanted to put you up a little bit higher. And perhaps maybe there's a tendency to rate ourselves a little bit lower because when you start to learn about a hobby or something specific, you realize
how much
you don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
that's why I put myself at a 4 or 5 because I'm starting to realize, I mean, there's so much nuance in each of the calibers and each of the different styles of guns. I mean, I know nothing about revolvers or cowboy guns or any of that stuff. I mean, nothing. I couldn't. Yeah. I know general trigger pulls and it shoots, but again, you just, like you said, the more you start to understand the hobby, the more you realize there's to learn.
There's more to learn. Anything else you would like to let us know about this great looking gun? Looks like a fun gun.
I don't regret this purchase on this one at all. It's been a great value. The functionality of it has been superb. So for the price point, again, I couldn't recommend this one more.
We'll do a quick trigger pull here. So Chris informed me that based on his manufacturer specifications or requirements, he said that this gun is you can actually dry fire it. So if you ever have any questions, check with your manufacturer as to whether or not you can dry fire a gun. I do have these dummy rounds with a 22. You can fire it with a dummy round in it. Obviously, where this particular manufacturer says it's fine to dry fire, we'll go ahead and just do that and do a trigger pull test. So gun is clear. There we got our little Wheeler trigger pull scale. Okay, we got like 2 7/8. There we go.
At Rugged Tactical, we prioritize the acceptance, recognition, and implementation of safe gun handling techniques. Here is a 1-minute safety briefing. We strongly advocate for everyone to adhere to these principles. When not in use or during filming, ensure that the firearm is both unloaded and cleared. Regardless of its unloaded status, handle each firearm with the utmost caution and assume it is loaded at all times. Always keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction to prevent any accidental discharges from causing harm. Maintain a firm and proper grip on the firearm and refrain from placing your finger on the trigger until you are ready to shoot. Be conscious of your surroundings and identify your target along with what lies beyond it. Bullets can penetrate walls and objects, emphasizing the need for situational awareness. Wear appropriate eye and ear protection to safeguard yourself during firearm use. Never use alcohol, over-the-counter drugs, or prescription medications before or during shooting activities. Store firearms in a manner that restricts access to unauthorized individuals. If facing emotional or mental struggles, have a person you trust store your firearms. For those new to firearms, we recommend taking a safety course to acquire fundamental knowledge and build confidence. At Rugged Tactical, safety is paramount, and we encourage responsible firearm practices to ensure a secure and enjoyable experience for all.
Chris and Colby here. We're at Impact Guns, gonna go shoot his Ruger Precision Rimfire. Have a little bit of a competition.
Yeah.
Should be fun. Let's head in. Okay, so here we are. We're getting ready to shoot. So we got our target set up. We got Chris's target over here. This is gonna be my target over here. So I think, Chris, what we'll do is, because I don't know your gun, we're going to shoot at this one. Maybe, first of all, you got a little clip here. Try a clip. Can you explain what this is?
So it's 2 sets of magazines. Just the standard 10 rounds with connectors in order. Just allows it to rotate it around and have 30 rounds without having to go around with a lot of different magazines.
Okay. How many fits in a clip?
10.
10. Okay. 10. So we'll do 10 shots, maybe 5 and 5, and then we'll go to our competition and go for the center, right? Now, so we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So basically, we'll take
You get to pick in the actual competition. How many shots? 5.
5 is great.
Okay, so 5 shots. If the bullet crosses a line, you get the point. Okay. So the best out of 5 wins.
Perfect.
And gets to claim winner for this little competition. Okay, so just a couple quick things.
Yep.
Because of the bench is it's a little bit shorter, so the stand is actually hanging out a little bit. But he says that that's okay. He can go ahead and set it there. And then the chairs are on an adjustment. So typically when he goes and shoots, he will sit in an adjustable chair so that he can room in his precision shooting. Obviously, at this current range, we're modifying a little bit how we're shooting. So we'll just be standing, and hopefully this seems pretty secure. It's not ideal, but it is what it is, and then we'll go from there.
So this right here locks the vise or the clamps on the gun. This here adjusts the tension for side to side.
Okay.
You can lock that in. And then down here you have an adjustment for elevation, which raises this pad up or down to allow you to target down there.
Yeah.
On the scope, this is your magnification here. So it goes
6 to 24.
6 to 24. Usually when I'm first starting out acquiring the target, I like the biggest field you can see. So I start there and then I adjust it until it's a comfortable level. So here we're about 15 yards out. Further out, you'd adjust it so that you can have the focus. And then these you to help zero in the gun and just make your adjustments if you're off. And if it doesn't want to go in, push on the magazine forward, then it will slide. Sometimes it doesn't like to sit in just right.
Safety. Okay. Down is fire. Okay.
Okay. Then for each shot, you have to continue because
Okay,
it's
so
bolt.
it's a bolt. I'm having fun, dude. This is fun. So, like, getting used to your scope a little bit, the crosshairs, everything that I'm seeing, the vision, a little bit of wobble. There's still a little bit of wobble as I'm squeezing the trigger and everything. Just because of the setup that we have, it's not as much of a solid base, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just the nature of where we're at and what we're having to deal with. But dude, I'm loving it. Yep, that's it. Okay. I'll have you shoot and then we'll take a look.
Okay.
So I had more.
Yeah, one more, I think.
Higher. Target 5 at the lower, and then 5 at the next high.
5 and 5, and then we'll go. And then on the next round, when the actual competition, we'll shoot for the center.
Okay.
So you got 5 more practice rounds, basically.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and pull it forward.
Okay.
Now that you're all warmed up,
Yeah.
you get to choose if you want to go first or you want me to go first.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. So let's take a look here. Okay, so it's first shot 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go with Chris. He's got some nice grouping right there.
That one was a little bit more
And then here,
all over.
yeah, it looks like you're pulling down. Now, did you start on this lower one?
Yep.
Okay. So, real quick question: where it's starting to pull. Now, is that something that you're doing? Do you think, or is the gun heating? Okay, so
No,
that's something
definitely
100%
me.
that you're doing. Okay, this will be a good little competition, I think.
This will be good.
I think it's gonna be a close one.
Close one.
So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I'm a little bit nervous. Moment of truth, right? Oh, that one got away from me. Darn it. I was doing good until that shot.
Open the door for me.
Yeah, it did. I was on the first two. I feel pretty good about it. First two were spot on. I mean, it was looking good. Third got away from me. Fourth and fifth, well, fourth was pretty there, and then fifth got a little away from me, but I don't know. Okay, Chris, you're up. Hey, Chris, so 43, that's 7 points away from a perfect score.
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now?
Oh man, the pressure's on.
The pressure
is on.
Okay, well, let's run that back out and let you take your shots. Okay, so a misfire. That happens sometimes with 22 rounds. Maybe it didn't get shelled.
It didn't.
Didn't get quite shelled.
Going my way. Not going my way.
Oh, isn't it? Uh-oh. Yeah, I can't see it from here.
Okay, you got this one.
Do I got it?
Oh yeah, this is all over. Nope.
Did we not put 10 in?
It's right here. Here's the 10.
I gotta throw the batteries away that are not good.
Oh, it was all over.
Was it all over?
It was. It was horrible.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Uh-oh. Let's see.
It was all over.
Well, 7 times 4,
28.
28 plus 9, 37. Yep. Okay, 37 versus
43.
43K.
Oh, man.
So there we have it. So
Yeah.
appreciate the competition. It's always fun, right? But just know that I beat you with your own gun.
Yep. It's true.
Now this gun, I truly enjoyed shooting it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. the fact that it's precision, right? Normally you have your base, it's more secure, but because of the nature of where we're at, it's a little bit wobbly, meaning like even I can tell my cheek would kind of make it move around a little bit.
I was finding my shoulder rest,
Yep,
trying to
the
get my shoulder
yep.
to...
So we were dealing with something that was a little bit more challenging, right? Given the certain circumstances. The nice thing about this precision rifle, man, I enjoyed the scope. When I pull that trigger, if I wasn't right on it, I knew I wasn't right on it,
Yep.
and it went where that scope was at the time that it fired. Thank you, Chris, for coming out. Let me shoot your gun. This was
Absolutely.
truly a joy and a pleasure. It was a lot of fun, and I guess we'll have it there.
Thanks for joining us today, and thanks Chris for sharing your gun with us. I truly had a blast. I really liked your gun. I thought it was pretty cool. We have some bonus content on our Patreon page that you want to check out. Chris shows us how to use his bipods, and I learned some quirks about the gun clip. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to be alerted when we post new videos, be sure to pull the trigger on that bell icon. As the dust settles on another rugged tactical adventure, always reload your curiosity, keep the fires burning, and we'll catch you in the next round.